Welcome to Lofty Pursuits in Tallahassee, Florida, where we make hard candy. But Lofty Pursuits is also a soda fountain, and sometimes we travel around the country to visit other soda fountains and to learn about their regional delicacies. Today we're going to do something fun. We're going to take a regional delicacy, a lime sour from the Atlanta region, and we're going to turn it into candy. To do this, we're going to go to Chapman's Drugs, a pharmacy that's been around for almost 100 years that's just south of Atlanta, but just north of the Atlanta Regional Airport. We're also going to find out why sour drinks like limeades, lemonades, or even a Coke quench your thirst so well. We think of sodas now as this thing that comes out of a machine, a can, or a bottle. But back when Chapman's was founded in the 20s, you would go to a soda fountain to get a drink because you couldn't get the can or the bottle, or you would get it because you were getting medicine that was in liquid form and the liquid form tasted so bad, you wanted it to be mixed up with something so you could drink it because it would taste good. Chapman still has its original mahogany and marble soda fountain. It's beautiful, it's been maintained wonderfully, and they still use it on a daily basis. And I was there after school, and it was pretty cool to see the kids rush in after school to get their treats. They bought sodas, they bought candy, and they bought ice cream and soda fountain treats. What they are known for is a drink called the lime sour. This is a drink that's made with shaved ice, lime juice, seltzer water, and salt. If you'll notice, there's no sugar in there. And that's okay, because this is meant to refresh, and you get a sweet taste anyway, and I'll explain why a little later. Anna works the soda fountain here at Chapman's Drugs, and she was nice enough to show us how to make the lime sour.
We're going to grab crushed ice. And you're getting a small. Use 2 limes. Carbonated water. A little stir. And it's optional for your taste. You can add a little bit of salt or just have it straight.
So this drink and the salt are a treat. If you'll notice, there was no sugar that went into this. This is just lime juice, ice, and seltzer water. And it makes you feel cooler in the summer. And that's because of the acid in the lime. You see, when you're thirsty in the summer, your mouth is dry. And the high levels of acid in a lime drink or a high acid drink makes your mouth salivate. And that salivation makes you seem instantly refreshed. Even though this drink is extremely sour, and you can counter the sour with some salt, it's going to make you feel cooler because now your mouth isn't going to feel dry anymore. And this is the trick of lemonade, limeade, and the lime Ricky, which is a fruit drink with a lime that gets an acid to it. Now, if you also take a look at the phosphates, now phosphates were common in soda fountains in the past. You'd have a chocolate phosphate and other phosphates. It used the acid because the sugar in the drink made your mouths dry out. So it wasn't as refreshing. So they pumped up the acid level in the drink to give you a wet mouthfeel. And then they pumped up more sugar to counter the acid taste. There's only one common phosphate around. That's Coca-Cola. If you look, it still uses the phosphoric acid in it. And because of that, it has a huge amount of sugar in it. But it also, no one talks about, has a huge amount of acid. Coca-Cola has about as much acid in it as standard vinegar does. And that's because it needs that acid to make the drink seem refreshing. But here, we can do it just with crushed ice, lime juice, a little salt, and it's refreshing in hot weather.
And then it's strange. Even without sugar, the drink becomes sweet. Derek Chapman, the 4th generation owner of Chapman Drugs, tells us about it.
Lime sours are sweet at some point, so it's got so much salt in it that when about halfway through, the salt kind of disappears, it overwhelms your mouth or something, and it's almost just a sweet taste that you taste when you're drinking it. The lime sour is it's either a love or a hate, so you'll find people that are absolutely addicted to it. I mean, they're absolutely in here every day to get their lime sour.
In the over 90 years they've been in Hapeville, Georgia, Some things have stayed the same, like the soda fountain, but the ice has not. They used to have the ice delivered by the train that runs across the street, seemingly on a daily basis.
Offload a block, and then that's the ice grinder on top of the phone booth back.
Oh, wow, it is.
So they would chop the blocks, crush the ice for the drinks using that.
If you ever get a chance to visit Chapman's Pharmacy, it's in Hapeville, Georgia, just south of Atlanta, between I-75 and I-85 in a little wedge. And there's more to see there, too. The Dwarf House was here, and that became Chick-fil-A, and they still operate on the original location. I guess this leaves the question, how do we get from a drink to hard candy? And what we're going to do is we're going to use it as our inspiration to capture the essence of this drink in hard candy. We've already heated the sugar to 310 degrees, and we've already added the lime oil, which is the flavoring for this candy. And now we're going to pour it on our candy cooling table to get it down to temperature. The next step is we make it green with food coloring, and we stir it in with our little wooden spoons. And you'll see it boils, and that's boiling off the water, because the water is bad for candy. It makes it sticky. Now for the magic to take place. First, we add the citric acid. This creates the sour. We next add baking soda. Now, when the water in your mouth comes in contact with the baking soda and the citric acid, it will fizz, and this will carbonate the candy in your mouth, so you'll get the soda sensation. And lastly, we're putting in salt that, if I do it right, will give you a salt finish on the flavor, just like a lime sour. Since the sugar's been sitting on the candy cooling table without moving, it's uneven in temperature. The top is hot, the bottom is cool, and we're going to fold it and mix it all together. Usually when I'm doing drops, I mix the colorant in the pot. But here I'm doing it on the table because I know I'm going to have to pull this on the hook, or the citric acid and the baking soda isn't going to blend evenly. I'll blend all the color on the hook too. If you'd like to try this candy for yourself, you can order it at www.pd.net. And if you're ever in Tallahassee, you can come by our shop and try it for yourself. We're located right off I-10 in Tallahassee off the Thomasville Road exit. So let's go over what I'm trying to do here. The lime flavor for the lime sour is coming from lime oil. We're making it sour with citric acid, and we're adding baking soda, but not enough to cancel out all of the sour to create carbonation in your mouth. And then, for a finish, we're adding salt, and the salt is going to give you the same sensation, sort of like you get for a margarita. We're going to use this little press to make the candy into drops, little round balls of sugar and sweetness and sour and salt. And we're going to do this just by running it through the press. It's actually a lot harder than it looks, but I can't really explain why. This press was originally made in 1871 and was owned by John Mullane Company, a candy company in Cincinnati that was well known for their sweets. All that's left is to separate these sheets of candy into individual pieces, and you'll understand in a moment why they call them drops. Thank you for watching. We really do appreciate it. And if you want to get some of this candy and try it for yourself, you can get it online at our website, www.pd.net. If you like this video, we've made a lot of them and we come out with them regularly. Please subscribe to us here on YouTube and click that alerts button. Also, if you'd like to, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. And you can come and visit us for yourself if you're in Tallahassee. We make candy a lot of the time, but not all the time. But we're open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. most days. We serve brunch until 2, ice cream starting at noon, and we even sell toys. We'd love you to come and visit. And who knows, you might get lucky and see us make candy. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next video.